welcome. This is Markus Termin, astrologisches Stundenbuch, coming to you from where Mark Dredwitz, Germany, right now. And it's the 13th of November 2025. As I'm talking, the moon is in the sign of Virgo, and the sun is in the sign of Scorpio, which is a harmonic angle. And also, what is important to know about today, and even more important to know about tomorrow morning, in the very morning, we're talking about Middle European time, is the moon will be hitting the south node in Virgo. And that means that we're again getting in the 14 days period of the moon, transporting old things to the new gate, to the north node, which is in Pisces right now. So it's all about reorganization. It's all about getting things straight towards a new efficiency, letting loose things in the sign of Virgo that might not have the right order. And we're talking about a maybe even spiritual order, using those 14 days up to the moon catching up with the north node in the sign of Pisces will lead you to best results. So this is a settling day, thinking about what am I gonna do, what needs to be pushed out, what needs to be restructured, reorganized, settled in a way that it serves me better. This is the one thing, and we're talking about today. The second thing is, of course, Mercury is retrograde. Now, trying to print this leads to the result that it just prints the same chart outside, which I just can't solve the problem quick enough before I do this video. So this graphic looks more complicated, as it should be, because the outside is the same as the inside, which is a typical Mercury retrograde problem. And this is not the chart of the day. This is the chart of the new moon I want to talk a few words about. But we can have a look still at what is going on. And as we have the combination of Mercury retrograde and Mars in the sign of Sagittarius, Germany is re-establishing the draft. You know, they want to have a new military draft. They want to build up a big army of approximately 500,000 soldiers, all male, of course. And well, this is Mars the warrior, and Mercury retrograde is re-establishing. This fits perfectly well. Of course, somebody could ask the question, and it's really more complicated than it should be because the outside is the same as the inside. But I can't print right now, Mercury retrograde. Of course, you can ask the question, we have a re-establishing of the draft when Mars is in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is kind of going outside, you know. Mars in the chart of the German Republic is in the opposite sign, in the sign of Gemini. So me personally, I hope that this generation that they want to draft now starts to, you know, find something. In older days, we used to call that resistance, and I think it's badly necessary, really. Okay, but having a look at the new moon chart, which is the 20th, as I'm doing this video, it's the 13th, and the 20th will be the new moon. You see the moon is in Scorpio. Right now it's in Virgo. It will take a few days to get there. But this is going to be a very, very special new moon. Why is that? Because Mercury will be, with this new moon position, in Cassimi, as if in the heart of the sun, visiting the king. And who's the king? The king in this case is the sun in the sign of Scorpio. It's the Scorpio king. So the visitation of Mercury, the audience he gets with the king, has to do with the question, what am I gonna do for re-establishing? No, it's not re-establishing. It's actually it's metamorphosis. What am I gonna do to change things in a way that they are going to look deeply different? Venus, who's ruling the sign of Taurus, holds the rulership of the opposing Uranus. And that makes this new moon a real jumping frog. This is a possibility of getting real changes. Of course, this is the axis of having and being at the same time, because Taurus and Scorpio are both connected to material things. Taurus more to personal material things, and Scorpio more to public material things. So let's be, let's have a look at what they are doing at the financial frontier. Those, how should I call them? No, I'm not going to call anybody names now. Okay, so this is the new moon, and what is very, very important about it, it's Mercury in Cassimi. In Middle European time, it will appear at 7:47. And it's a very, very short thing. You have to take the morning hours, maybe 8 o'clock, and have a wish, have something that needs change badly in your life, needs metamorphosis, needs also the Plutonic sign of Scorpio is the sign of recreation in a deep sense, but recreation that takes kind of inventing yourself new, you could say. So Scorpio is a sign of sexuality too, but it's not the sign of fertility. Fertility is down in Taurus, and Scorpio is more the sign of ecstasis. Ekstase? Do I pronounce that right? Sorry, my native language is German, but having experiences that really lead you far out, of course. All this is being connected to a grand water trine from Jupiter to the Sun to Neptune in the sign of Pisces. So this makes the waves flow, actually, which might not be a bad thing if you go for change. It's not a good day for keeping hold on old situations. It's a flowing situation, actually. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to have an astrological consultation, just get in contact with me. Use this mail address up there. Down here at my blog site, you'll find what it costs. You'll get a Zoom link and everything like that. And this one last thing to show you is going to be a chart that we will have to talk about. As you can see, we have Saturn retrograde in the sign of Pisces in this chart, and it's a very old one. It's from 1789. Now, guess what happened there? They stormed the Bastille in France, and we're kind of getting into that energy flow. I leave you with these thoughts and won't say any more about that. We actually shouldn't, but this is interesting because Saturn retrograde in Pisces, yes, we do have it. That's the situation. And we also do have Pluto in the sign of Aquarius, but it takes him a while to get to that position. Thank you very much for watching. This is Markus Termin at the 13th of November 2025.